Hello, everybody.
Morning, everybody.
Joe here.
Kevin.
All right, so last week's episode I thought was fantastic.
Yeah, as in terms of like the episodes, like there's the episodes that are silly,
Mhm.
which I love, and then there's the episodes that lean more into like really deep intellectual ideas and philosophical ideas, and I felt like that was one of the sweeter episodes that dealt with those issues. Every episode's obviously
Sure.
funny. Every episode,
Has a touch of
yeah,
each, right?
it has a touch of each, but
It's like a scale.
they generally tip one way or the other. At least
Mhm.
by the time it's over, it's like, did I laugh more at that one or did I think more at that one?
Yeah,
And like the balance of that last one was more of a thinker for me.
and I think that's been season three.
Sure.
Season three has been much more heartfelt, if you want to call it that.
Right.
They've been dealing a lot with the trauma side of
Mhm,
things,
mhm.
and I love that we got the Donkey Doug episode followed up by the Eleanor and Tawny sisters
Yeah,
episode,
yeah. We got basically all the characters have now had their opportunity to kind of face
except Chi.
their demons. I don't think we're ever going to get
I
much
don't know.
backstory on Chidi.
The
I really
closest we
don't.
got to him like dealing with a similar issue was the Chili episode. Kind
Yeah,
of,
just he had his existential crisis that
Yeah,
lasted for an episode, but
yeah.
I don't know that. I mean, I like that he doesn't because it's not like every single person that is flawed, right? Every single person that's insecure, every single person that's broken
He's kind of an
has
outlier.
has a person they can point to and say you're the reason why, right?
Yeah.
I think that's realistic. Some people just struggle, some people have anxiety and it's not somebody's fault, or insecurities, or blind spots, right, in their own personality. And you can't really sit there and like, well, what is the easy way to track it back to a simple cause? Some of you
Yeah.
can, right? Tahani, you can say, oh, wait, you and your sister were pitted against each other in a really toxic way by your awful parents.
Yeah. I
You
like
know,
that it's not all parental trauma.
absolutely.
You know what I mean? He is the outlier in that situation. I don't know what it is, but you're right. There's just something broken in this guy to where
Right.
he can't be a normal person.
And maybe we get a little some explanation of it, but it goes
I
back
think
to
they're saving it. I don't
right,
know. Or maybe
maybe.
not. Maybe not.
Yeah. I would be disappointed, I think, a little bit if we find out like, oh, look, he had crap parents too, so that's kind of what all four of them are.
At this
It's
point,
just
right?
if you're a person who struggles,
It's your parents.
it's your parents' fault. Now, I think that that's common.
Sure.
I'm not. I don't want to
It's true to
dismiss.
life. It
I
is.
don't want to dismiss parental trauma
Mhm.
because it's very real.
Yeah.
But I think it's also nice to have a different view. Also, that
Sure.
not everything can be tracked back to that simple source.
Yeah, I think that makes for a more interesting show. This show's already crazy interesting, but
Yeah.
I think that it's fun that we're covering all of our bases and we're
Right.
not just putting all of our eggs in one basket.
Absolutely, which is why it's nice to have such a diverse cast in terms of their backgrounds,
Mhm.
right? Which is look at Jason and look at Tahani and look where they came
And they still have like a similar like broken backstory.
from. Yeah, exactly.
It's universal.
Right. Even people who grow up in incredible privilege can still struggle.
Sure.
All right, we're going to get started here. Do want to welcome all of our Patreon subscribers and give a special shout out to Actuarial Lurker, Balas Foldes, Chris, Jeff, Christy Goverston, NJ, Surya Gundavarapu, and Weird Magic. Thank you so much, guys. We're very happy you're here with us.
Yes, we are. And if you guys are watching this on YouTube for the first time, welcome to our channel. If you might hit the like button for us, leave us a comment down below, and please hit the subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all the new content we've coming your way.
If you'd like to see a full-length reaction to this and everything else we've watched or are watching, please check out a link in the description of our Patreon page. Every show, including The Good Place, we are at least 4 episodes ahead on Patreon of where we are on YouTube. So if you get done watching the highlights on YouTube and want to keep going, you can do it on our Patreon. You will have to sync and watch along on your own source material. You will only see near us for copyright purposes. We're also watching 30 Rock as a Patreon exclusive and just sadly finished up Dairy Girls.
Yeah.
We're about to start doing some mini-series in that spot.
We got some fun stuff coming.
Hmm.
Worst possible use of free will.
Can you believe we're way past halfway done with the show?
I know it's hard to believe, honestly. Jeff Fox.
Man,
God,
we only have a
they
few
take so
hours
many
before we
shots
have
at
to pick the
Florida and
gang up from the
Arizona.
airport. Fire up Janet's memory gizmo.
Flooding your brain with memories from the afterlife is dangerous.
My screwed up relationship with my parents made me believe I could never really love anyone. I need to see
There
it
it
for
is.
myself. Those are my memories. I want them back.
Okay. As I told you, recalling afterlife memories here on Earth has some significant side effects.
Oh, that's creepy.
Okay, that short clip should have rewired your brain like an inoculation. So now I can show you the highlights of Reboot 119.
We are moving on to the subject of free will versus
It's kind of
determinism.
cool to see the
we
old
are
neighborhood
officially
again.
I
done
know, I
with
miss
Nietzsche.
it. I really do.
I'm gonna miss Nietzsche.
They're in sync together.
Yeah.
Or they were, anyways.
Dude, we can get mythical animals. Maybe I'll get a penguin.
Penguins are real.
That's the spirit of Lenore.
I love Jason so much.
I found out recently he was in that. Oh my gosh, so sweet. The most recent Star Wars show is what he's in.
Oh, really?
That's what he's up to. Yeah.
Good. I'm glad he's working.
This one's
Is this the indecision kicking in again?
maybe.
Uh-oh,
they're
it's
both
cheaty
so-
kryptonite. Choice between any two things.
Are they brother and sister, or perhaps married?
Forgot
Dude,
how
they're heaven
difficult this
puppies.
guy is.
I'm sure they're both incredible. Just choose one.
Both puppies have been taken.
Well,
Yeah,
as
I
soon
should
as
have
you lose.
seen that coming. My indecision has once again cost me happiness, and I will now suffer the consequences.
That is funny.
Doesn't
It is.
like loud voices.
Yeesh, what happened, man?
I was trying to teach him to play fetch, attacked my face with his razor-sharp talons.
Why don't you just ask Michael for a dog?
Because it was my mistake to not pick a puppy fast enough.
So you get it, right?
Hey,
What? You liked him, he liked you. You did nice things for each other.
you are going to show me how thoughtful and caring I am, or I'm gonna rip off your demon head and shove it up whatever's where your butt should be. Roll it.
You were looking for him?
Wow.
Yeah, so Chidi chose an owl because he froze up trying to decide between two puppies. Is it possible for him to swap?
He might want to hold off. Tonight we're having a party where everyone gets to transform into their pets for a few minutes as a treat.
Yeah, do that.
That sounds pretty awesome.
Can't find my lizard. He was just out there like 1 second ago.
No big
Owl
deal.
eater.
Janet can find it.
No, I can't risk it.
Holy crap, you're supposed to be flying right now.
It's no big deal. I just decided I'd rather be helping you.
You're
Good guy.
amazing.
Yeah, he is. There it is.
Oh, okay. Well, is this the
After
first
that,
case?
you spent all your time together. That was the first time you actually said it out loud.
I love you.
We saw this.
Yep. Mindy recorded it.
Yeah.
Because she's a perv.
Yeah. Mindy a freak.
We're in love. And love is stronger than anything you can throw at us.
No, it's not.
No matter what he does, we will find each other. And we will help each other. Because we're soulmates.
That is also true.
Arizona.
I thought for a
Yeah.
second I could love someone. But really, it was just you manipulating me into thinking I loved someone.
Needed you to drive each other crazy. But I never intended for you to fall in love.
Once you made us bond, the romance was inevitable. Determinism is the theory that we have no control over our own actions. Everything we do happens because of some external force. I didn't choose to fall in love with Chidi because some all-knowing demon, you, brought us together and scripted our lives.
That's ridiculous.
Everything in my life
don't agree.
has
The
been
kissing was her
determined
choice.
by my upbringing, my genetics, or my environment. And everything in my afterlife was determined by you.
Right? All I have to do is prove that you made one choice that I couldn't anticipate.
She made a lot of choices he could anticipate.
Yeah, right? Like,
Oh boy.
About any of
Yep.
this,
Okay, easy.
I beg you.
That's right,
Tell
because that's what capsized the whole thing.
yeah.
I love you, man.
And you decided to sacrifice yourself
Mhm.
to help him. That wasn't me pulling a string or manipulating you.
That's silly on her part. That's like saying, like, oh, I worked with my girlfriend. Therefore, my job forced us to date.
Yeah, she's not accepting it. She's
No,
kind of kicking
right.
herself when
Yeah,
she's
for
down.
sure.
Have I missed anything in that freaky little noodle of yours? See, I've studied everything about your life. I know your hopes, your fears. Making crazy choices. I don't understand. Am I missing something? You made choices I never saw coming. I call that
Yep.
free will.
Yeah. She deserved that.
Why did you do that?
Free will.
Because I have free will. This is a defense mechanism,
Yep.
Eleanor. You saw yourself fall in love with Chidi, and it freaked you out to see yourself be so vulnerable. Because if everything is determined and we have no free will, then all the stuff we're doing to put more good into the world is pointless.
I'm loving Michael right now.
Yeah. He's making so much sense.
Yeah.
Times like this, it's fun to remember that we're legally
face.
married.
That is fun.
I call window seats.
I'm sorry. You were right. I was scared about what it all meant, and I went back to one of my favorite moves. The only truly free beings in the universe, because we actually know what's up with the afterlife.
We need to find someone who can serve as a blueprint for humanity, someone whose life is so great that we can use
Cannot
it
wait
as a
to see more
model.
of it.
Grab your bags. We're going to rural Canada.
You have
season
missed
2.
a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah, season.
Now go through that makeshift portal. See if you explode.
Did you figure out a way to build an illegal door to Earth?
Yes. That's exactly what I did.
Shut up, Gwen. Okay, so the last, 3 episodes now, we've dealt exactly with what we talked about at the beginning, right?
Mhm.
I really enjoy that. I get caught up in the conversation of the show. It's just so well written, and the dialogue is fantastic that you kind of forget that, like, you are watching a comedy. Obviously, there's like a lot of
Oh yeah, it was hilarious,
it's
right?
a very
for sure.
very funny show. But it makes the jokes hit harder because you're just so engaged with what they're talking about. You know,
And I think this season more than any of the others, by far, and we saw it again in this one, we don't focus on the whole ensemble that much anymore. We really focus in on like one-on-one interactions.
Yeah.
A lot more than we used to. This was almost exclusively Eleanor and Michael.
Yeah.
Right. We saw the rest of the cast very little.
at the very end.
Yeah. I mean, we saw obviously Chidi and the flashbacks and things like that, which were a lot of fun scenes to shoot on. I'm
They
sure,
were
but
brief,
but they were brief, right? It really was about Michael and Eleanor and basically the process they were going through with each other.
yeah, helping her get past herself. Really,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Which I'm ready to see that because even in season 1 we were like, this is her running away from things
For sure, right.
just insecurities. But yeah, I like that the season has given specific episodes dedicated towards certain characters.
Mhm.
I think that's a great idea for a show to do.
Absolutely.
West Wing did it a little bit. Was it season 2? Yeah, it was season 2. It was right after the Bartlett shooting
Mhm.
where we saw each character's backstory.
Yeah, it was kind of split between season 1 and 2.
Yeah,
the build up to it. Yeah.
I like that kind of stuff. I think it does help flesh out characters. So that
Sure.
way, when it does return to the ensemble, it helps you root for these people so much more because you know them. You know what they're about.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think the arcs in a character are easier to track through interpersonal relationships rather than like group relationships,
Yeah.
and we're seeing really good character arcs. We've seen it since the show started. When you think about who everybody was with, like I'd kind of forgotten just how annoying Chidi's indecision really kind of was back in season 1, and this is like, oh yeah, look how far he's come. Look how far Eleanor's come. Look how far Michael's come.
Yeah.
Since the show started, this was being able to see those flashbacks. It was really kind of a nice moment to say, let's take stock of where we are in the personal growth and journey of our characters. And obviously, we've come so far with them,
100%.
and not in a way that feels contrived either. I mean,
No.
it all feels earned, right?
It feels like the natural progression, right? It
Absolutely.
feels like the next step.
Mhm.
And obviously, he had this thing planned out from the beginning, Mike Schur.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but
This is a brilliant show.
I can't believe how good it is. Each week, I'm truly shocked.
Right. I'm kind of curious, and I'm sure there's things out there, like Mike Schur and everyone else, kind of talking about it. But like the format, right? Like, do you think somebody was like, I've got this idea for a show about moral philosophy.
Yeah.
Oh, what format should we use for it? How about a sitcom? The 30-minute comedy format.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that.
Yeah.
Or kind of like what where the origin was and kind of how it got to this really well-developed, unique place.
I think it works this way because I find this stuff very I find it very interesting.
Yeah,
but at
it's
the same-
fascinating,
but,
sure.
But at the same time, it can come off as pretentious if you portray it in a certain way.
Right.
This show avoids that completely.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's almost satire, but it's not.
Well, it's such a new way to do that old, like we said on the channel before. You have 50 years of what a sitcom is, right? And they were all episodic. It was like, here's where the show starts, here's where the show ends, right back at the beginning. So you can watch them out of order, you can skip a season, you can do whatever. You're not missing anything, right? You can watch Seinfeld season 1 and Seinfeld season 6
and have no idea they're separate
have no
seasons.
idea, and not really like not miss a beat, right?
And
but this is not that show.
I was saying, that's not a bad thing. That has,
no,
that
not
has
at all.
its own purpose.
It's a different. It's a different thing. It's not a bad thing, but this is a really unique way to take it, right? You have this sitcom, and we're seeing it in other shows too. Arrested Development did this, right?
So well.
Which is like, good luck if you skip 3 episodes. Good luck on where we're at.
I just love these creators and TV shows are raising the bar for TV.
Absolutely.
Don't be lazy.
Which is
Can't be lazy.
right, which is why we talk about like the movie theater kind of dying a little bit. It's like, well, Kind of, for a lot of reasons, but there's great work being done in television, which is why so
Yeah.
many great actors are doing TV now.
It's weird because it makes me sad and happy. You know what I mean? Because
For
you're like, I
sure.
can stay home and watch great TV. Like I went to the movies this week, and there was 4 people in theater, including me,
Really?
and I'm like, this is a new release. This is crazy, you know? So
Well, it's like this summer, all the blockbusters were bombs, even the good ones.
Yeah.
I didn't see Fall Guy, but I've heard one, it's actually a really good movie, and two, nobody went to watch it.
yeah, because it was on streaming like a month later. Like,
Right.
they're doing that stuff now, and
Yeah.
it's like, all right. I mean, I want to get out, but at the same time, nobody has the time to do it anymore. So at least we can have this, you know? I mean, it's
I still like it.
love
Obviously
going
you do too,
I
right?
love
Still
going to
still loving and take the atmosphere of going to the movie theater, being excited about seeing a movie, sitting through the previews.
Yeah.
Although there are like half hours of previews mixed in with
I
commercials
timed it.
now.
It's actually a half hour.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this thing's not going
I
well. I
saw it.
peed twice when the movie started.
I did too. I saw Avatar 2,
Ooh.
which was already a long movie, right? 30 minutes of trailers
Yeah,
and,
it's a
and
4-hour
commercials running up to the start of this very long movie. You can't the studios are doing 3-hour movies now. You can't also tack on 30 minutes
When
of
it
commercials
says
before.
3:40 showtime. Can we start the previews at 3:40? Like the actual previews.
Right.
And real quick before we go, is it weird to you that, like, back in the day, part of going to the theater was the experience of watching it with a crowd and kind of having that energy bounce around the room? Now it's like when I go to the movies, I kind of enjoy being it by myself. you
Sure.
know? I don't know why. I just like having a giant screen for me.
It depends on the movie.
Right.
There are movies that are like you want the atmosphere of like everyone being excited to be there.
Yeah.
I saw a couple of the Star Wars movies in the theater, and
It helps
that-
with the crowd.
that is a jazz crowd for when that overture kicks, the John Williams overture kicks in at the beginning.
Everyone cheers.
People lose it.
Yeah, you know?
Absolutely, and that's worth the experience.
Mhm.
Do you see The Quiet Place in the movie theater? And it's like, can everyone put their freaking snacks down? Because all I can hear is chewing and wrappers.
I saw Long Legs by myself this week, and I don't. This doesn't happen that often, but I did have some messed up dreams later that night. So sometimes it's effective. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But yeah. Anyways, guys, this show is great. I do think it's raising the bar in terms of media, and I think that we're better off for it. I really do.
Yeah. More TV shows like this, please.
Yes.
We'll catch you in the next one, guys.